What is going on, guys, and welcome back to another random lure challenge. So today we're going big. I have this big piece of basswood here. I talked about using this entire piece for one big swim bait, and we're not doing that today, but we are going pretty big. So I cut a 1-inch piece off of this piece of wood. So here we have a 11 by 3 by 1 piece of basswood, and today we're making a hinkle shad. If you've been in the big swim bait world, you know what a hinkle shad is. It is insane. The demand for this lure is nuts. And yeah, it costs $1,000. I saw some on eBay for $1,200. To me, it's not worth $1,000. I'm not saying I could do any better. No means I could do any better, but today I want to try and make one. So today we're making a $1,000 shad swim bait. I did some research on this hinkle shad, and it is 8 inches long. Did my own research and found that it was 3 inches tall, and this piece of wood just happens to be 3 inches tall. It is perfect. So we'll be cutting off this much, and it'll be this tall. So this lure will be about this big. So pretty big swim bait. This is the biggest bait I ever made. I only made about 7 or 8 lures, and I'm jumping straight to something huge. So I'm excited for this. It will be a lot of carving. This might take me a while to carve all the little scales, which I am gonna do. All the gills, the scales, the fins, everything's gonna be carved out, looking nice. So let's get started. All right, so I got the shape all drew up. I drew the gills as well. That's gonna get cut off, but I figured let's practice. But as you see, we got a little open lip here, just like the original bait. Looks pretty good. I went a little hair bigger than 8 inches. And again, guys, this will have a tail, so really this bait is maybe 9.5 inches or so. So pretty big bait, but let's go ahead and cut this out. All right, so here is the shape after I cut it out and sanded it. It is nice and smooth. I also drew the lines on the edges, so I need to cut those lines down. I also drew this line here. That is to cut the 45, this segment. I'm gonna go ahead and do that now, and then I can go ahead and take off these sides. All right, so here is the lure. I already got the top front piece carved down, but I drew the lines. So we got our lines ready to be carved. There is the top and how that looks. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the bottom, finish that off, and then we can get to sanding. All right, guys, it is all sanded down, looking beautiful. But my mom got me this belt sander, so shout out to my mom for Christmas. And I kind of flattened some of this area. I went through and sanded it down and then re-rounded off the edges. And it looks so much better. And it took me maybe 30 seconds with this guy. What would have took me normally like an hour. So huge shout out to my mom for the belt sander. This will make me making lures so much faster. But yeah, looks pretty dang good. So that is the final shape of our lure. I also added some super glue right here just to make this end super strong, just so these pieces do not break. I can squeeze that as hard as possible and those will not break off. So those are strong, don't have to worry about those. And now I think it is time for carving. All right, so I painted the lure white. I wanted to paint it white, get all those little gaps filled with paint so I can sand it down, make it look nice and smooth. I still need to do that, but I sanded it down some. As you can see, there's still a bunch of little cracks and gaps in the wood there I need to fill out, but it's looking good. Also spent about 30 minutes and drew up all the gills and the eyes. Got it symmetrical on both sides. I went ahead and carved this side. It is looking pretty good. Still need some more sanding to clean up those edges, but it's looking pretty good, man. I'm happy with how this is turning out. I'm gonna go ahead and start carving this side, and the gills will be done. Oops, just spilt my drink. All right, so I got that all carved out. Now it is time for sanding. All right, it is time to do some scales. I need to draw these on. This is my first time ever doing scales. And I already learned quite a bit, actually. Because I already did the other side. I haven't really been filming much. I've just been working on the lure. I figured I would just do it one side and then film the other side. But I did all these scales my very first time doing them. And yeah, I learned a lot, but this still looks pretty good. Not bad for my first time. I'm gonna go ahead and draw this side here. So like I said, these scales aren't the best, but they're doable. So I kind of want to make a smaller version of this, maybe 5 or 6 inches. And then on that one, I will do the scales perfect. I do like the round scale look, but I just feel like the round scale belongs on a carp. They look more like carp scales than normal fish scales. But eventually I do want to do round scales as well. So I'm just going through all these little scales and making them flat. Getting rid of all the little cut marks. I really thought that doing this would be take a lot longer, but it's not too bad. Also, all that sanding I did to the surface to make it nice and smooth. For nothing. Doesn't matter when you make scales. I got the 2 fins drew up. I'm going to cut those out. All right, we got our 2 front fins. So here is the bait after carving all the scales. And I traced out the fins here, and what I want to do is cut into that and dig it out a little bit so where the front of the scale is even with the bait and then the back of it will stick up. Just a little bit, something like that. And I'm going to carve all the details into this plexiglass here. All right, so there is the fins for the bottom. I still need to make a fin on the top, but we also need the fin back here. I'm not gonna do the 2 fins that they have down here. I just don't think it's necessary. I'm not gonna do it. But we'll have this fin up here, this long back fin here, and then the tail. This is the tail I'm gonna be using. So I made this out of a paintbrush. One just like this. I cut off, or I actually took off all this metal so I can make the longest bristles I could. I made this little jig here, out of some sandpaper I had laying around. I just laid the bristles right in there, and then I closed this around it to hold it in place. And then I took some 5-minute epoxy and epoxied that all together, and then also did some super glue on the end and some baking soda just to really hold all that together. So my problem with that was I did not make, oh crap, I'm throwing all my crap around. I did not make the tail end very thick, as you can see. So that was kind of tricky. I had to make sure this was super flat to get it in. It can get in, but it's super tough. But that's good. Once I actually glue it in, it will hold up real nice and well inside of the lure. So there is the tail, and I will be trimming it up once it is actually glued in. But that is my idea for the tails on these lures. Pretty sick. And the fish can grab it and it won't affect how the bass takes the bait, so that's good. They're soft. Never done sanding. Okay, so I just went ahead and made the back fin out of the plexiglass. So we'll go something like that. Of course, it will be dug in, so I'm gonna stick it about maybe that far. But I need to go ahead and cut out the slot for that. Alright, so I'm gonna have to take out all of the black, and that will drop into place right there. Alright, so I'm happy with this fit. That will go in like that, and I'm gonna go ahead and make some marks in this fin using this same Dremel bit here. So I just did the same thing for the top fin that I did on bottom. I got that cut out and drilled out. I think I'm gonna go ahead and glue these fins in now. That's probably still too long.
There you go.
That'll do. That looks good.
Yeah.
I think I glued that in place, but it won't be on this piece. I think it's a freaking beast.
That's huge.
And we still need to glue these fins on, but I'm gonna do that after the mold. I don't want that to mess up the molding, so. But that will go in just like that.
Looking like a fish.
Looks like a fish. That's all I was going for. Alright, so I got all of the fins and the tail and the carving, the scales, the gills that I need. I do need to drill out the eyes. I cannot forget that. But I'm ready to cut this lure in half. Finish the cut there. Alright guys, so I got the lure cut in half. I got all the holes drilled out for the line ties. I got the holes on the inside for the hinges drilled out. Those were placed perfectly on those pieces as well. And then I just stuck in these line ties just to hold it onto the clamp. But I'm about to paint these pieces with this 2-in-1 filler and sandable automotive primer. So this is a primer. I'm going to paint it, sand it down, get it real nice and smooth. And this lure is actually never going to be in the lure. This lure will never touch water. This is actually going to be my master for the mold. I want to make a mold of this lure and be able to reproduce this lure as many times as I want. Paint it different ways, all that good stuff. So that's the plan. It is dark outside, so I'm not going to film me spray paint this. But next time you see it, it will be gray. So I just did a light coat on it and realized I forgot to drill out the eyes. Sick. So I will be doing that next once it dries, and then we will add another coat of paint on this bad boy. All right, just got the eyes cut out and sanded. That's how they're gonna look. Looks pretty good. Now we can add more paint to it. All right, so it is a few days later. I have been sick as a dog. You can probably tell in my voice, but I'm slowly getting over it and slowly working on the lure. So if you look right here, let me focus the camera. If you look, there's a bunch of little holes and divots and pieces that broke off on these scales, like right in there. So what I'm doing is I'm going through with some wood filler, just like that, going through and filling all those little spots and making it look like this. So it looks great now. So that compared to that, and it's easy. All I have to do is rub some of this all over it. Real simple. Don't even have to let it dry. And then get a little piece of sandpaper and go through all the little scales. Real simple, real quick, not too bad at all. So been doing that. Already got this piece here all done. Looking freaking good. So gonna do that and then hit it with one last coat of the gray paint. And then we will have a very, very smooth, perfect finish for the mold. All right, I'm gonna hit it with one last coat of filler, make it all smooth again, and this guy is done. All right, guys, so here is the final lure. It is done. It is perfect. I am so happy with how this came out. Not bad for my very first big actual swim bait, glide bait type of thing. But this guy, I have not put in any of the hinges or anything, or the hooks. But if I'm guessing the gap for the hinges here, it's gonna be about there. And this lure is about 9 3/4 inches. Pretty big swim bait, that is, compared to my hand. So I did not put any hooks or anything on this bait because this is just the master for my lure. I'm going to make a mold of this lure. I got a kit here. I may have to go get some more stuff for it, but I'm going to make a mold, and that way I can make 5 or 10 or 20 of these lures. That is my plan for this lure. So gonna make about 20 of them, all different color schemes, whatnot. Have fun painting them different ways, and also just mess with the weights, making sure they swim real good. Figure all that fun stuff out. But that will be in the next video. In this video, I just wanted to make the master, and that is what we did. Ah, man, I just got over COVID. It sucks. I can't taste nothing right now. it is so bad. But that slowed me down on making this lure. I have not posted in a while, and I'm sorry. But we're back, baby. We're back to fishing, back to making lures. This guy, I'm so freaking excited. So imagine, like, if I was gonna do a shad, imagine this being more silver, like a bright, shiny silver. And imagine all the lines on the inside being black. Imagine all the fins being black. And then the body just being silver. Oh man, like a sexy little shad. This bait is gonna look so freaking good. And I cannot wait to see it all finished and painted with some hooks on it. So again, that will have to be in the next video, guys. I'm sorry. I have to go order some more stuff, some more resin. Need to order some resin. And then once we get that in, we can actually start making molds of this guy right here. So guys, I hope you all enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will catch y'all in the next one. Peace.